Hello everyone, welcome again to Immigrate with Alesseich. My name is Happiness. I'm an education consultant for Alesseich Consultancy Services. So today we're going to be talking about the personal support worker program in Canada, right? Because now a lot of people are moving from their countries of origin into Canada to study this program. It's a one-year program. Actually, it's an 8-month program. But when you apply for the program, when you apply for your visa for the program, you get a 1-year visa, right? 8-month program, short program. You only pay for tuition for 8 months. And after that, the idea is that when you're done with the program, you can apply for your postgraduate work permit. And then after getting your postgraduate work permit, you can now apply for your permanent residency and then be able to bring your family and all that. Right, this is good. Okay, so the pathway is after you finish your 8-month program, okay, you qualify to apply for the postgraduate work permit. Because it's an 8-month program, you are only going to be given a 1-year postgraduate work permit, because postgraduate work permit is different from the work permit. Okay, you will be given only 1-year postgraduate work permit. Okay, now you can then apply for your permanent residency if you get a full-time job or a part-time job. Now the caregivers program is the route to your permanent residency, to applying for your permanent residency. Okay, that's the program you have to follow to be able to apply for your permanent residency, not express entry or PMP and all that. It's the caregivers program. Okay, now the caregivers program requires that, one of the requirements is that you have a full-time job offer, right? You have a full-time job offer, or you have 1 year of full-time work experience, or you have 2 years of part-time work experience. So it's either you have 1 year full-time work experience or 2 years of part-time work experience. These are one of the requirements to be able to apply for this caregiver program after you've done your study and then you get your postgraduate work permit. Now, the issue with the postgraduate work permit is that the program is a 1-year program. Then all you are going to get is a 1-year work postgraduate work permit. So many people who are in Canada right now who went through this program are actually having problems because the employers are not willing to give them full-time jobs. Okay, now you need a full-time job offer to be able to qualify to apply for this permanent residency through the caregivers program. Okay, now all you have is just 1 year postgraduate work permit, or you need 2 years of part-time. Now all you have is only 1 year. So how do you now qualify to be able to apply for this permanent residency? Most employers now are willing to only give people who have 1 year work permits only part-time jobs. But the rule says that if you have a part-time job, you need to do it for 2 years to be able to qualify to apply for the PR. So now here comes the problem. Now most students at the moment are now faced with either going back or they go and do another 1-year program, to make it 2 years. Now another a problem with that going for a second program is that if after your first program you've gone ahead to go and apply for your permanent residency, for your postgraduate work permit, if you've gone ahead to apply for your postgraduate work permit before applying for the second program, then it's kind of a waste of time, because even if you apply for the second program, now it's 2 years of study, you will not be able to qualify to get the 3 years work permit that you should get if you did a 2-year program. Because normally, now if you apply, if you do a 1-year program, you get 1 year postgraduate work permit. If you do a 2-year program, you get 3 years of postgraduate work permit. So for those people who say, okay, I've done 1-year program and this thing is not working out, let me rush back to school and then go do another 1-year program so that when I apply for postgraduate work permit, they will now give me 3 years. No. If after your first 1-year program, you've gone ahead to apply for the 1-year postgraduate work permit, that is it. Even after your second program, you will not even qualify to apply for any other postgraduate work permit, because you can only apply for postgraduate work permit once. So it's either that after your first program, you go on straight to do another second program, which is another 1-year program, the second program, which will now add up to 2 years of study before you apply for your postgraduate work permit. That way you can get your 3 years of postgraduate work permit. But if you've applied for your postgraduate work permit after the first program, then unfortunately, even if you go in and do a second program, you've only just wasted your time and your money doing that second program. All right. So now, this peddling of apply for personal support worker when you get to Canada, then you'll get a job, and then the next thing, then you can apply for your PR. It's correct, but the problem now is, are you able to get that full-time postgraduate? Are you able to get that full-time job that will qualify you to apply for the PR? Because your PGWP is only for 1 year. If you're not able to get a full-time job within that 1 year, then you will not qualify to apply for the PR, which is what a lot of people are going through. They are mostly getting part-time jobs, and this is mostly because of the influx of students into Canada, right? People that came to Canada to do 2-year programs or 3-year programs in other fields, right? After their study, 2-year or 3-year program, they get their 3 years PGWP, right? Their postgraduate work permit. They look for a job in their field, in their area of study. They can't get a job in their area of study. Then they now jump into PSW because they are able to get a company that is willing to employ them and train them on the job because they have 3 years work permits. I mean, postgraduate work permits. Those ones are willing to employ them, train them on the job for like 6 months, and then they work for them for 2.5 years. Now, because of the number of those people that are available to take up these jobs because they have the long postgraduate work permits, these ones that have only 1 year PGWP are finding it difficult to get full-time jobs because the employers are looking at it like, why will I give someone who has 1 year postgraduate work permit a full-time job when I have somebody who has 3 years PGWP that is also wanting the same job and can stay with me longer? I don't want to go back to recruiting after 1 year. They spend a lot of money doing recruitment. They don't want to do that. They would rather go for somebody who has longer work permit, postgraduate work permit, right, than someone who has just 1 year. That's the problem that people who studied PSW 8 months program are facing at the moment. After their program, they get only 1 year of PGWP. That 1 year of postgraduate work permit, if they are able to get a full-time job, fine. But at the moment, it is becoming very difficult in a lot of provinces, a lot of cities, right? It's becoming very difficult to get the full-time jobs. All they're getting are part-time jobs. Now, most of them are now resorting to jumping back to school again to go and do another 1 year program, which is now the problem. The ones that have already applied for PGWP, that rushed and applied for PGWP after their first program, they are trapped because even after the second program, even after the second study, they will not be able to get the 3 years work permit. They cannot apply for PGWP again. Once you apply for it, that is it. So they are only ending up with 1 year of PGWP, right? Now, unless probably if they go apply for maybe a master's degree or something, maybe they might just have a chance. But those people applying for studying PSW, it is a risk. It is a big risk at the moment. Before now, yes, it was possible. But at the moment, because things change over time, it is becoming more and more saturated when it comes to being able to transition from, your PGWP of 1 year into getting permanent residence, right? It's becoming a problem. Slowly and slowly, it's getting saturated with, because of the influx of students coming in. It's not only Nigerians, it's not only Indians. There are a lot of people from different countries that are coming in to study in Canada. Once they're not able to get a job in their field of study, they look for other means because everybody wants to stay. So you need to be guided when you are picking these, programs to study in Canada, especially people who want to come in and do PSW. My advice is that you go for a 2-year program and save yourself the hassle. A lot of people are saying, oh, the school fees is expensive. The school fees is this and that. Yes, it's expensive. So now the people who came here and did 1-year program and now they are wanting to jump back to school again and do another 1-year program. Aren't you going to pay school fees? You're definitely going to pay school fees. Is it not still the same thing? So why not from the get-go get it right? Do a 2-year program right from the get-go. Once you're done with your 2-year program, you get your 3 years PGWP, which is your postgraduate work permit. With that PGWP of 3 years, even if you're not able to get a full-time job, you're only able to get a part-time job in PSW, working as a PSW part-time. The requirement is that you do that part-time for 2 years. If you do the part-time program for 2 years, you still qualify to apply for your PR. Now, because your PGWP is 3 years, you have enough time, even if it's a part-time job. But if you have a 1-year PGWP, because you went and did the PSW 1-year program, then you are stuck if you don't get a full-time job. All right. So we need to be guided. Okay. When we are, picking these programs, go for a 2-year, a 2-year study program so that when you're done with it, you get your 3 years postgraduate work permit straight away. From the get-go, get it right. Okay. Some of the programs that you can do still, within the health sector, if you want to remain in the health sector, some programs that you can do for 2 years are stuff like, community healthcare worker program. You have gerontology programs. You have your developmental worker program. There are so many healthcare programs that are 2-year programs that you can do and get your diploma, which will now be able to now qualify you to apply for your PGWP that you will get for 3 years. It's not just PSW. Apply for the 2-year programs. Get it right from the beginning. Go for these 2-year healthcare programs. And then, good thing about these 2-year healthcare programs, when you're done, if really your goal is at the end of the day to still work as a PSW, as a personal support worker, that's your end goal. With your developmental support worker program, with your community support worker program, with your gerontology program, and all the other healthcare programs that are 2-year programs that are done in colleges that you can get a diploma for. With these programs, after you're done, you can still go and apply for a PSW job, because these programs are higher than PSW. The course curriculum for these programs includes the course curriculum for PSW. So when you graduate after doing a social care worker program and you graduate and you want to work as a PSW, a personal support worker, you can still work as a personal support worker. You're going to get the job because the curriculum for PSW is also included in the social support worker program. It's an advantage for you to go for a 2-year program and just get it right from the beginning so that you save yourself stress, save yourself, the hassle. Because once you get into Canada, then the hassle starts. That's the truth. Once you get into Canada, the hassle starts. If you don't know what you're doing, you get confused, you get lost. If you're not talking to the right people, then you're in trouble. All right? Different people will give you different kinds of information. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself heading back home. Seriously, a lot of students are facing that in different colleges in Canada right now. A lot of international students, they don't know their left from their right anymore. They came in to do a one-year program, and now they're having all these problems from left, right, and center. They are talking to immigration consultants, and immigration consultants are telling them exactly what I'm telling you right now, and then they are confused because the information they got before they traveled from their country of origin into Canada is not what they're hearing now. So you need to be guided. Get it right from the get-go. Tuition is expensive. There's nothing we can do about that. That's the cost of the education here. All right. But there are benefits to that as well. Get it right from the get-go. Do a 2-year program. Even if it's not a PSW, if it's a different program entirely, just make sure it's a 2-year program so that when you're done with your program, you qualify for your 3-year PGWP, and then you can go and do whatever you want with the PGWP. Get a job, full-time or part-time. At the end of the day, you can now, apply for your permanent residency. All right. Another thing I want to say is, instead of going for a 2-year, maybe PSW, a 2-year healthcare program, you can go for a master's program straight away. 1-year master's program, because it's a master's program. It's a master's program. Straight away after your study, you qualify for your 3 years PGWP. Instead of going for 2 years diploma program and all that, you can do your 1-year master's program. Once you're done with your 1-year master's program, you apply for your PGWP, you get 3 years straight away. The reason these other people are getting 2 years, 3 years PGWP after their 2-year program is because it's a diploma program. It has to be 2 years for the diploma program for you to get 3 years PGWP. But if it's a master's program, 1-year master's program, you're good to go. Apply for your PGWP, you get 3 years, and then you can start looking at applying for your permanent residency. All right, I just thought I should lay this out there. A lot of people are getting confused. A lot of people are getting into a lot of problems here in Canada. So as an education consultant, it is, a duty that I owe to people who are coming to Canada to study, to advise them right, make sure that they are choosing the right programs, make sure that they are doing the right thing that can help them in the long run. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any comments, if you have any contributions, anything, any questions, put them in the comment section, and I'll speak to you guys again in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.